want to be a pro wrestler? What a joke.
If we can get someone to bleed, that's when a heel shines. But first you've got to learn how to use a weapon.
There was someone I wanted to murder.
This is the story of our battle.
Welcome to another episode of the Critics Collective. Now, this one's going to be interesting. This is going to be a review for a Netflix show. There's going to be some wrestling in talk. There's going to be some powerful women in talks. And it's interesting because I learned a lot. I learned a lot from my experience of this one. But before we jump in, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and follow for more. This is the Critics Collective. We're going to be talking about The Queen of Villains. It's streaming right now on Netflix. Came out in 2024. And we're going to take a look at this one. Now, for this one, each episode is 1 hour. Now, I don't want to be rude as I go ahead and step into the squared circle that some will call it. I'm the Dad Panther, variety streamer, content creator, master of none. And for this one, I'm going to go into first impressions. Then I'm going to go on highs and lows. Then we're going to rate this. Now, my first impression with this was I just saw wrestling. I didn't care if it was foreign or whatnot. I just wanted to jump into it because it was wrestling. I'm like, hey, it's a show. I don't know anything about it other than it had to do with wrestling. It had to do with women. Sign me up. Now, I finished watching Against the Ropes, which is also on Netflix as well. I think that comes from South America, or does that come from Mexico? I don't know. I got to check, but I may review that one. But Against the Ropes on Netflix. It's in wrestling as well. I also watched something on HBO. I can't remember what it was, but it was anime with wrestling. So I enjoy wrestling. While I'm saying that, shameless plug, check out our many options in wrestling currently here on this channel. Now, with first impressions out of the way, not expecting anything, to know anything, I just saw this woman who looked like kind of like a mix of Kiss and the Road Warriors. Remember the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal, back in the WWE days, WWF days, give or take your age date. And I was like, hey, they have a fork. I saw a fork and a bat. I saw a little blood. I was like, oh, okay, let's do this. And then it was like MA. So it was like basically rated R as far as streaming goes. I was like, all right, well, let's see what this is about. Now, my lows is I don't think we're going to get a season 2. Reason why we're not going to get a season 2 was I feel like a lot of the plots and everything, they close up. I won't spoil anything for this, but I feel like they close it up. Number 2, this is a true story. This is a true story. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything. That's why it's bad. It's bad because how did I not know that this was a real thing? Like, I had no clue. Like, I really enjoy women wrestling. Shimmer, probably one of my favorite wrestlers in general would be female-wise would be Victoria, Mickey James, Natty. I prefer a more technical style wrestling. Trish, there's just so many great wrestlers that are women. Bianca, Becky, that don't get enough recognition. But point blank, I'm like, how did I not know this? This wrestler from Japan who's just a superstar, a trendsetter. How did I not know? But anywho, that's something I would say bad from it. The other thing I would say was I think bad is, man, I wish I could have got more. I wish we could have dragged it out some more episodes. But I'm kind of, you already know kind of what that rating is going to lean into. So I'll go into the good stuff. The good things was I thought that they shot this well. I thought it was clean. I thought the action inside the fighting was great because it broke down that fourth wall, right? You felt like the audience, you felt like the viewer, you felt at certain parts that you were communicating right there with the managers, the bookers, the promoters, right there in those conversations in the locker room. For the ladies in the locker room, like you felt that you were like a fly on a wall a lot of times, and sometimes they don't do it where it's seamless. The other thing I liked about it was I love when I watch wrestling shows. Hill, check out the review that we did for the seasons for Hills on, it was Stars, but now it's on Netflix. They do a good job where you're watching the wrestling event, the match, and you're just intrigued of how this match is going to finish. What's going to happen? Yeah, there's dynamics behind it. It may be already told what the move is supposed to happen in the order and all, but point blank, when you're watching it, you get into it and they're telling you a story. They do a great job of crafting these stories, even based off of a true story. I still went back and saw the similarities. And I thought they did a really good job of telling this person's story and doing it in such a way. The acting from all the wrestlers. Like the moves felt real. Like sometimes you watch wrestling, I don't know if it's Ready to Rumble. There's certain ones where you watch wrestling and you're like, whether it's a stunt double doing it and it switches in a bad edit, or you're like, this person doesn't wrestle at all. And you watch certain shows and you're like, man, this person takes the craft serious or the art serious, and they're doing what they have to do. And so it's believable and you can appreciate that without giving out any receipts. This does a really good job of that. And I thought the cast did a great job, especially the women that were wrestling, because they had to tell two stories. They had to tell the story of the character itself and that growth and that change throughout the episodes. But more importantly, they had to show the exact same growth and development in the ring every episode. And I thought they did a great job and they didn't shy away from it. Man, this was a good watch. It really was. So at the end of the day, let's just go ahead and jump into the ratings. I don't have anything bad to say about this other than why didn't I know that this was here? Now we go from 0 to 5, with 5 being excellent, 0 being horrible. In here, I talked about some of the women that I enjoy watching: Medusa, Jazz. There's so many others. Naomi, her corner move, I wouldn't be mad at taking that corner move, but Natalia. Oh, Natalia. Sorry, I got sidetracked. So we're doing the rating. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, follow for more. My apologies. So we're rating The Queen of Villains, currently on Netflix. Came out in 2024. It is not going to get a second season. At least I don't think it will, because they wrap stuff up because it was a true story. So if you already know about this character, go ahead and watch it. What she did for wrestling, and that's why at the top of the show, I mentioned Kiss. She got her inspiration from Kiss. This happens really in the 70s and 80s as far as her timeline goes. And Hawk and Animal, the Road Warriors, they took when they traveled, like Hogan and so many others, when they traveled, and you can get a lot of stories like this from Dark Side of the Ring. Check those out. We have those out right now. But they took inspiration from what she was doing, making it the biggest show in Japan wrestling. And she was using the rock and the hardcore and the face painting and the outfits, the black and yellow. So I would rate this a 4. I'm going to rate this a 4. I think it was good. I think it was clean. The only reason why I wouldn't say it's a 5 personally, maybe because of the blood in it. There's blood in it. They don't shy away from the blood. And if you're not a wrestling fan, I encourage you to watch. Dad would recommend, go ahead and check this out. Just with the blood and the hardcore elements, if you're not a fan of wrestling, I could see how this would turn you off. And it would probably turn you off to just wrestling maybe in general, or wrestling with women in general, which is a different discussion for another day. It may be an unpopular opinion one day, but I just feel like women wrestling, they don't get enough recognition. They get a double-edged sword, if you would. But that's a conversation for another time. But a 4 is what I would rate this. And I will say, you could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to be here with me. Until next time, kalika-lika-lao.
Said I'ma get into it first. Until they put me in the dirt. Said I'ma get into it first. Said I'ma get into it.